Hello and welcome to Keep Hope Alive. This is Nadine, and we have a special guest today. Her name is Chloe DeZosa. And oh my gosh, I can't wait. I'm going to tell you now and be honest before you watch this whole show. We are talking about sex.
Sex.
Imagine that. So if you're a kid, get off this show. So, but maybe stay on if you want to learn. Chloe is not your average love, sex, and relationship coach. She is a luminary with over 2 decades of experience in guiding individuals through the depths of intimacy and self-discovery. As a season 5 rhymes dancer, teacher, and a dance movement psychotherapist, she's not just about the theory. She's all about embodiment and transformation. I love that. So that's really exciting. And before we start into this podcast, we have a special sponsor, lifeonrecord.com. Chloe, do you know lifeonrecord.com?
No, but I want to know. Tell me,
You
who
do.
are these people?
Yay. So Life on Record, when you go to events, usually weddings, you come in, you'll see a guest book, right? And we say, hey, we were here and everything. Well, they're making it different these days. They are actually providing a vintage phone that you can pick up and leave a voicemail. It
No
can be
way.
2 minutes. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know, right? 30 minutes, you can do whatever you want. But if you don't want to do it right then and there, they have a QR code you can scan. Now you can do it during or after the event. So it's like you can call in, leave this message for them, congratulate them. They will burn all these messages on a 12-inch vinyl record. Or I call it their little boom box. They put it in there. So like when you're sitting back on your first year anniversary, eating that cake, if it's still good, you can listen to all these messages and just reflect on that day, which is really cool. You get this whole box for 1 year, okay? And it's only $99 for that year. So you get the vintage phone, you get the keepsake and everything. Would you do that?
That is super cute. Yeah, I would do that, but I know also my partner would be all over stuff like that, like the romanticness of a year later on our anniversary, pick up the phone, all the people wish as well.
Yes, yes. I think it's very cool. It's a different way, doing things. So you can find them at www.lifeonrecord.com. So let's jump into this because I'm really going to be interviewing you today. So tell us about yourself a little bit more.
Okay, great. So I come under the name of Feral Grace if you want to find me, but my name is Chloe D'Souza. And I realized the importance of love, sex, and relationship through various ways. I've always worked with the body. I work massively with my career with it as a dance movement psychotherapist with what the body holds. And increasingly, I couldn't escape the fact, because I was a dance teacher as well, how much sexual energy I had, but also dancers, you awaken the sexual energy the whole time. So when my life kind of blew up in my face, in my adult life, I was also faced with how to problem solve what had gone wrong, and the two things came together in terms of being a love, sex, and relationship coach, because the relationship key to also how to have a really beautiful relationship with people, how to solve the problems that keep reoccurring. I mean, the classic is people leave people thinking that all the problems will go away, but you take yourself with you.
That is so accurate. I learned something new on all my podcasts, but yeah, you do. It's like people leave people and just say it wasn't good enough, which is bullcrap. Work at it, make it happen.
Yeah. And then the other thing that happened was, I had a really mixed childhood. It had its fair share of trauma and problems in it. But the one thing that somehow, like, my upbringing left untouched was my access to my sexuality, was my access to this feral self, my wild, my ignition, and when I looked around and we talk, don't we, women, right? We're talking to your girlfriends about it. It was like, and when I started to study it in depth, the statistics around the trauma that many people are holding around this sexuality topic is huge. The orgasm gap. Do you know what that is, Nadine? The orgasm gap?
Yeah, let me tell you.
So
What is it? Explain it to me because I'm going to say it wrong.
one of my missions really is to close the orgasm gap. I've got lots of missions. I'm one of those big thinkers, big people. So but it's like so when in a heterosexual relationship, a man and a woman is making love, the man is like a massive percent higher likely more to come than the woman. Now why is that? So we've got to break that down socially, we've got to break that down culturally, and we've also got to look at how women's bodies are treated, but also how we treat our own bodies. So a little how to.
Yes.
So I'm going to make,
it gets me thinking about, what is going on our brain? Like, are we stressed out? Do we have high anxiety? Does it stop you from being able to orgasm? Yes.
Yeah, you're good with this. So Nagalski, for example, wrote a great text called "Come as You Are," and she talks a lot about context. Yeah, so if you're not coming, are you stressed out? What's the safety within your relationship? Like what do you need longer? Like, the two things. The geek in me loves this, right? So there's responsive and spontaneous forms of arousal.
Okay.
So men are often much more spontaneous. I actually also contest that slightly, falling in both camps. Women often are more responsive. So yeah, massage her feet, massage her shoulders, put on the right music, tell her all day why you want to make love to her. And by the time, you take a time with a woman, then she's much more likely to come. And let's have her not come just once. Let's have her come a few times.
Okay.
Yeah. Really practice some mastery and mistressy in the bedroom. And you start to close that orgasm gap. Realize you're responsive. Realize you need more warm up,
Yeah, definitely. And I think if you can be honest with the partner and tell them what you do like, it goes so much better. Not try to figure it out on your own. And it's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
say
really.
people hide it or fake their orgasms. That's not good either in a relationship. So you need to be honest, tell your partner what it is you like, and just go from there. So
I love you already. This is great.
hold back here. I'm such a Jersey girl here. So you know what? Let's talk about this,
Yeah.
So I just think that fakeness or like not being true to a partner is, not good. You're gonna make you run away from that person. And they could be the best person in the world. But I think, you know, before any problems explode, you want to have that talk with them. So
Yeah.
but yes, I know I have a series of questions for you. You ready?
Yeah.
So, how did you become a love and sex relationship coach, and what else have you done in your career? So you were talking about training and stuff. I wanted to kind of dive into that. There's actually a school to learn sex.
There's many schools to learn sex. Yeah, there's many schools. So my background initially, my degree at university was social anthropology. So I just studied, I got obsessed with healing systems all over the world. From there, I set out with my little bag on my back to travel the world and actually experience them. I landed in many, many different systems and studied what I thought was effective and what wasn't. Then became a dance movement psychotherapist and an ecstatic dance teacher because I realized the body had such a lot to say. Mine personally, but bodies on the whole. And what you really want is that you want the mind and the heart and the body to be all in alignment. If you're in your head whilst you're having sex, it's much harder to come. You want your head to be engaged, you want your heart to be connected to that person, and you want your body to be involved and feeling safe and good. So really,
safe and good is important. Yeah,
safe and good is important. And a huge thing is self-loyalty. If you're faking an orgasm, who is that for? Now it might be for yourself, it might be, but also like I would be, if you were in my client room, I'd be like gently taking a look at like, oh, how come it doesn't feel so safe to say, could you just move yourself to the left or slow it down, or I need more
Move yourself to
time,
the left. They're like, what are you
or
doing? I'm going to the left. I'm going to the right. I'm
I'm
going to try all
gonna
these
left.
moves.
Exactly. Or you need to be kinder to me in the daytime.
Yeah, yeah. You
Yeah,
know, it tells a lot like how your day is going with that person and stuff, and just you got to feel the vibe. I think for the like really, really first time, like I have for me a deep connection, and that's what puts it in perspective. And dude, I'm getting older. I'm 45. I feel like I'm falling apart, but I'm like not, because I don't want to say too much on here. I like sex. A lot of people
yeah,
like sex, right? You got to have sex,
yeah,
but
yeah.
people, well, you're like, yeah. um, it's just, being willing to get out there and try. I'm not going to let my body fall apart. I want to keep going like the
Mm.
Energizer Bunny. So, so it
Yeah,
works or whatever. But, I don't think this should be a shy topic for people. I think people, if they became more open to talk about this, you would get more information. And you know what? With more information, it is the heart and the soul. It's making love,
yeah,
or people will call it the F word, whatever. But be true to yourself. Like, know what it is that why you're coming together. So, is it
yeah.
love, or is it just like, hey, baby, it's just a one night, that's it? And either way,
Yeah, either way, like people find it so hard to be upfront. There's nothing wrong with a hookup, but,
I,
but but be upfront. You're having a hookup, right? Don't be telling her you're going to marry her, or she be telling you like, oh yeah, this is for real forever. It's like, no, it's a hot hookup. Let's do that,
yeah,
Consenting
definitely.
parties, people being honest, so people can make a good agreement there. I,
Exactly.
I think sex is a massive taboo topic, which is partly why I'm here. I was talking on a main stage this summer about the revolutionary power of orgasms, the power of pleasure, and
Yeah.
why is it a taboo topic? I have questions around that because talking about it in a healthy way, and particularly in the States right now, I'm UK side, there's a real sexual wellness movement that's growing fast, because if you can talk about this in a healthy way, it's less underhand, it's less dangerous. People can get what they want, how they want, with consenting adults. But also there's so many techniques to soften up the body. So de-armoring is a beautiful technique if you've suffered roughly under some hands throughout your childhood or adulthood, to start to release what you've stored in your body, particularly as a woman with your womb, your vagina, your vulva, your clitoris. Just going to go there and name them all. To take the shock and the trauma out of that system, and then your sexual pleasure comes back, and you deserve that, babes. So you start to re-own yourself, you start to restore your sexual wellness, you start to ask for what you want, you start to
Yeah.
attract partners that like really want to treat you right. And I'm really committed to that repair for people. And the same goes across for all human beings. People say, do you work just with women? I work with human beings, you know.
Yes, good. That's good. So definitely they got to check out your website and everything.
Yeah.
So let me go to the next question I have for you. Why do you think love, sex, and relationships are so important?
Oh,
I think,
you look around the planet. We've touched on that. I mean, it was
yeah, we
great. You
did.
kind of answered the sex part, longevity, happiness, health. I have a joke like, and I actually play this myself, Nadine. If you go into a cafe and you look around, are you telling me, of course you can tell who had sex last night and who didn't? Or who has regular sex? The shiny people that walk in, and it's nothing to do with whether they're classically good looking or not. It's the vibey people, the ones in their bodies, the ones that were not afraid to make a mess last night or whatever it was.
Yes.
There's a sense of shine that all human beings, because we're primal at heart,
Yeah.
know that person is switched on to that sexual, beautiful flame inside of us all. And it would be beautiful if everybody was connected to that. So I'm running a course next year where we connect sexual energy with your self-leadership. So I'm looking deep into this.
Yeah,
So
that's really
you're
cool.
in touch with that, and you start to things like, oh, I want to launch a podcast. You just watch me. That's what you've done, right? Or whatever it is you want to do. I want to leave my job. I want to travel the world, or I want to just be able to say yes and no appropriately. So we're going to
Yeah,
be connecting that stuff together. Love and relationship, it seems to be what everybody's singing about in pop songs. It seems to be what everybody writes about. And I think relationship with self has got to be included in that. I
yeah,
want
it
people
is.
to feel good with themselves, because you wake up with yourself every morning. And
Exactly.
wouldn't it be amazing, like, to wake up with yourself and go, oh my God, here we go. Another great day with me.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's all self-love. It's like having that energy. I know, oh my gosh. I've fallen. I don't know how to fall, but I've fallen for the guy I'm seeing. And I'm like, whoa, because I know I have been through so much stuff and I'm just learning. Okay, these walls need to slowly, day by day, start coming down because I need to be more open-minded and everything and moving forward. But I noticed when I wake up the past couple weeks, I'm just like, it's gonna be a good day. This is great. And then I walk into the kitchen and I'm like, I get my coffee and everything and go, okay, what is on my agenda today? But I catch myself always thinking about the guy I like now, and it puts
Ah,
this huge smile on my face. And it's like,
yeah,
I got this. I can move on today, and this is gonna be great, and hang out with my kids and everything. And my doggies running around, but it's having that good positive vibe energy that gets you
yeah,
through. And when you
yeah,
can think about the person you like, that told me right away, oh yeah, I'm definitely falling for this person. It's not no random hookup or anything. I
yeah,
actually want to spend more and more and more time. So
yeah.
yeah, definitely.
And you talk here so bravely, because to drop the walls and to call yourself in to say, hey Nadine, we just need to slowly let these barriers down. And what
Yeah.
you're kind of saying to yourself is it's safe now. I'm not going to get hurt. But do you know what? Even if I do, this is worth it. I'm going to have this life adventure with myself and risk it with this beautiful man, because
Yes.
maybe that's what this part is about.
Yep.
I love your
Definitely.
story. Smiling at your coffee, yeah.
Oh yeah, my coffee. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you think is the biggest misconception about the area that you work in?
Love, sex, and relationships. One of the misconceptions people have is, if I'm talking about sex and love, that I want to have a relationship with everybody on the planet. I actually don't. I am very picky with who I spend time with. The other thing is, I think that talking about sex somehow is unhealthy, that it's dangerous,
Mhm.
when actually what it does is create safety. And actually you up level people into being able to take care of themselves. And not just that, like within the coaching lens, we talk about going from surviving to thriving. Like, I
That's
want my clients to thrive, right? Just like you're
yes.
talking about there. And if there's something in their system that's tripping them up, then I want to help them integrate that. So they're like, do you know what? I used to have barriers when I walked towards potential partners. And now I've got a bullshit radar that keeps the ones away that I don't want. And I can say yes to the right people.
Yes, the bullshit radar.
Bullshit radar.
You know what scares me in today's world is the people who are really married pretending and going on these dating sites. It is scary because as a certified wedding planner and trying to date again at what age 45, shoot,
Mm,
I have my barriers. Like I know I wanted somebody older than me, not younger than me, and I don't want people to just feel my energy and be like, I really like her, I'm going to try really hard to make this work, and maybe she'll see that younger is okay. But
mm.
no, I've already set those boundaries up for me. They got to be a little bit older. They got to be a smart ass. I said ass on my show, so Now I got to mark it with,
Ding,
hey,
ding.
but I'm looking for somebody who equals my soul and spirit. If the connection's there, then yes. And then when there's connection like that, I'm going to ask you can provide more in a sexual
Absolutely.
relationship because you have that fondness in your heart and it's a great connection. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't really talk about sex every day. I'm kind of shy, but you're
Oh,
here to help me and help
yeah.
everybody in the world. Let's all have a day where everybody comes to you and talk to you and
Yeah.
it's this good energy vibe to go and learn about it. I'm
Yeah,
not,
and I think that's why, like, I have so many people in my client sessions is I have worked to one and in groups because people don't know where to take it. We were taught often at such a young age, or maybe that was cultural programming or your family culture, where no, that's dirty or bad, or we'll have a little pretend word for that part of your body, or oh, we don't talk about that. When actually that leaves a lot of questions. It leaves a
yeah,
lot of isolation. But actually, like, isn't having sex just the most amazing, beautiful, satisfying, luscious, ecstatic, blissful experience? I want to talk about that.
that is
I
cool.
love, I mean,
Like
God,
that'd be
who
fun to
wouldn't
hang
want
out
to?
with you and just like have coffee and just be like, let's talk about sex and
Let's,
orgasms
yeah,
and da, 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 how to make it better. I'd be like, this is a great coffee meeting.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
something not everybody talks about. So,
Mm,
and I am not going to sit here and say, oh, did you hear what she talked about on her podcast? You know what? I'm sorry. When you're keeping hope alive, you're keeping your body alive and you're doing what you like and you love.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
important to me. So, what do most people come to see you about? We know that too. Sex,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm sure it's how can I make it better? Right?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. And often the pennies dropped, as we say in England, over like, I keep attracting emotionally unavoidable partners. I keep moving away when actually I'm really keen on the person, but I don't feel safe. Or I never come when I'm with my partner, but I always come when I'm on my own. Or I don't know how to have sex just with myself solo. We call that self-pleasuring.
yeah.
Other people call it masturbation. You call it whatever you want to call it. So like I'm numb. I don't know how to have a G-spot orgasm, but I do know how to have a clitoral orgasm. I don't know where my cervix is. There's such a wide range here going on. And to be able to take it to a space and someone normalizing talking about that, someone else to help you digest, because I really believe that everybody comes in so pure, and then
Mhm.
you get these experiences that layer on top of that purity, on top of that beautiful flame that you were when you were born. And then suddenly you're scared to reach out to someone you love, or you're scared to say no or yes, or you're scared to have multiple orgasms because someone told you that that would end you up in XYZ. So
Really?
yeah, so I kind of myth debunk, and I actually love what you're saying. Can we go back just a few minutes about I'm going to be doing a series on Instagram this week on debunking, because like as you get older, I believe sex should get better.
You would think they should have
Well,
experience
you
by now.
practice more, right? You might do less on your knees, but in your 70s, but apart from that, you should be acing it by
Yeah, getting the older part, dude. That's awesome. It's
it's an
different.
opportunity to vary positions, Nadine. That's all it is.
Yeah, yeah. I remember all the movies. I was like, they make books and hide them. What movie was that? They were like, this is your sex guide, how to do it and how to make a girl, really climax. What's that like American Pie? I don't know what I was watching. My mom used to hide movies from me and my brother back on when there was VHS, like Fatal Attraction. Mm. She go to work and I'm like, why is she hiding this? And I put it in and go, oh, that's why she hides this movie.
It is so good.
I, it was never good like during Christmas holidays either. If she buy presents, I go snooping and look for them. So whenever she said no, I was always, yes, what is she hiding?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I had to know. But yeah, definitely being the younger me versus the mid-age me. And then I do think, in the future, what is it going to be like too? So, but also learning about our bodies when we hit mid-age. What can we do and what can't we do? So we reevaluate our bodies and, don't ever be scared to tell somebody, hey, actually, this caused a little bit of pain. Let's try something else. Or because if you just try to, like, give in, you don't want to sound stupid, right? Like, you
Mm-hmm.
don't want your partner to be like, what is going on? I think honesty is the best way to keep a partner, like telling them, hey, this is how it makes me feel. I,
Yeah.
hopefully they, listen and take account of that. So you got to teach that too, right?
Yeah,
The listening
absolutely.
and communicating part. Yeah.
And talking about ways in which to deliver that, because like just simple non-violent communication techniques. So you tell somebody something great about what they do, tell someone something that they could actually improve on, that actually
Yeah.
what the way your body functions, actually, if you were to just do it a little bit more like this, that would suit me much better. And then you sandwich it with, and also this bit was great. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved the way you did this. If you could just like this bit would work better for me if you did it more like this. And then I also loved what you did here. And you can use that in the bedroom and out of the bedroom. You save yourself so many arguments because they'll then listen because you started
Yeah.
with something good. They're then open to some feedback. And then
Open, a little negative, follow it with
yeah,
positive, positive. Okay.
yeah, try that. That's an amazing way to start a conversation.
Yeah.
And you can tell them, I'd really like to bring this up because I'd like to have even better sex with you than we already have.
They'll be
There's
all
my
excited.
that's my motivation. And they're like, ah. And you're like, the way I tick is like this. So if you did more of this, this would really work for me. Otherwise, I get a little bit ouchy. And they're like, all right, okay, okay. And then you're like, oh, I just can't wait. This was so amazing. Let's try that again.
That's
Yeah, and
awesome.
and there we go. They don't feel criticized. They might feel slightly like they've got to up their game
Yeah.
around certain things, but that's okay. We're all growing.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. So I want to know what motivates your work life. Like you said, you wake up happy, ready to teach the world, but is there one set motivation that really gets you going?
I just love people.
You love people.
I love people. My edge was I had to learn to love myself. Yeah,
Yes,
I
that's
was like,
totally.
everyone was like, what, a decade ago, banging on about self-love. I was like, what the fuck's that? So,
You got to learn it about yourself because if you don't, then it's just this body. That's what I had to learn. It's like you're in a capsule body, whatever. But the more I learned about me and patience and understanding and listening
yeah,
better,
yeah.
oh, things have changed in my
Uh,
world.
yeah,
But
same with
better.
me. Now I wake up and if I'm on my own, I'm like, oh my God, this feels so good. This is a great day. What do we want to do? Should we dance first? Should we go running? What music should we listen to? Like now I have
Yeah.
this little private party with myself every time there's a solo moment. I'm effervescent with the excitement of life. And it's like, there we go. I did some work. That was worth it.
Exactly. Exactly. Before my podcast, I like to sing. I just found out I had a couple mini strokes, but I'm always lately trying to work my mouth, my jawline. And, it's funny because the guy I'm seeing, he loves country music. And I used to never listen to country music, but they already got Christmas music on. And I noticed he likes to change the station right away to country. And I'm like, shut up, Nadine. Let him play his dang country music. And then I'm like thinking in my head, why is everybody so freaking depressed in this song? And I was like, okay, today I am singing Christmas songs. I don't care, I was like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's about bringing joy and peace to yourself too. But it's a
Yeah.
give or take. And that's the same in bed. It's a give and take. Learn each other. Just don't fake it. Hey, I said it. I have this energy now. Woo, don't fake it. Could you explain how it works and what people might expect in session if they came to you? So when they're coming, I want a session. Tell me what I can do better to please my man. because he just falls asleep so fast. What do you tell him?
I say, send me your man. Jesus, we have to work with him. You're not the problem, babes.
Good.
No, that um, so I would work with what their core desire is, right? So what is it that what is it you want to have happening to you, and what will that feel like?
Yeah.
And when you tell me what that feels like all five senses, what you would see, what you would hear, what would you feel, taste, touch, smell, we really build up. So if that's like multiple orgasms, or like a man or a woman that phones me every morning to tell me they love me, like,
Oh, yeah.
or like, so I want to manifest someone who buys me flowers, gives me some space, but then also books the restaurant in the evening.
Yeah, that's what I want. I never want to hear bickering on where we're gonna go eat or anything. I've always, like, in my relationships, I felt like I was always in control, but I wanted somebody else to do it. Like,
Yeah.
because I'm a planner already in my profession. I'm planning every day, and I'm like, I just want to be surprised. I just want somebody to do this for me because it's so routine in my life, with football practice for my son and then doing this and that. And then, where I live is like, oh, are you making dinner? I'm like, ah, I can't do everything. It's just like, I just want that day where everything is already planned. We're going to do this and this. When people learn you, they know what you like to eat. If they have extra time, let them make a special dinner for you, even if it's once a month, whatever. But still, it's going out there and trying. So I tried. I did
Yeah.
the lasagna and I didn't realize it was like 2 hours to cook. I'm like, seriously? I was hoping it was like an hour at the most. But I tried. I bought it. It's just in the freezer still.
Yeah, so another thing would be there, because once you work with what you desire, like a man who books a table and what's in flowers, we would start to work with what in your nervous system and in your body, and I'll help you drop in there, is in the way of you having that.
Yeah.
If you previously dated a guy who was doing that but also cheated on you, you're unlikely to let that happen again, because
Yeah.
you'll go flowers and restaurants, danger, cheating. Somewhere that will be
Yes.
possibly in there. I'll help you go in there. We'll take a look at that. We'll digest it. We'll integrate you. So then the next person who turns up that is for real, passes your bullshit radar, and does want to do that for you, that you say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
But
what you said there was so lovely, because you go look up online, or I'll drop it in the show notes, love languages. Find out what your partner's love languages are. Like
yes.
for you, the flowers in the restaurants, I mentioned those things, you just lit up. You were like, yeah, I'm all over that. This is what I want. I make decisions all day. Other people's love languages, one of my clients, she's like, they have got to be a good listener. I am not
Yeah.
interested
Yeah.
unless they listen, you know, because
I
those
want
dates.
somebody who stays off their dang cell phone. And that's what I
Right.
and touch. I learned I love dancing. That when I can wrap my arms around somebody, I feel so much safer and
Oh,
everything. But it's just, I don't know. I learned that. It was funny. I read the book, last year, and I was like, okay, this is what I want out of my life.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like, I hate to say like a checklist, but definitely.
You're
So
such a great person, Nadine. You really,
hope I am. I try to. I'm being very open here and honest, and I love it. I love having this
yeah,
talk because this is amazing.
yeah,
Everybody's different in this world, and there's going to be all different kind of people that will come to podcasts, of course, what they want to listen to. But this is a fun one,
yeah.
even at
And
this time in the morning.
even, yeah, she got up early for this, guys. I'm in my afternoon.
It's
But
only
yeah,
like
learning your partner's love languages is amazing. Like I don't do that just, it's not just about partnership for me, but it's also I'm always looking when I meet somebody, or with my clients or with my friends, like what lights them up. Like when you
yeah,
give someone some really good listening, and you don't interrupt, and you're just like, don't try and problem solve them too heavily,
yes,
like
yeah,
don't shut down their tears. It's just like, wow, you see what it really made them like really light up. or you get the people that like intellectually love to make love with you, and you're like chucking them ideas that light them up, and they're like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
you're working out what makes people tick. And that's just such a beautiful human thing. Like that's kind of what we're here for, right?
Yeah. It's funny. I'm going to be really honest here. I feel like the runaway bride sometimes, or just a runner. Like, I know that about myself. But, it was funny when I met the guy I'm dating, I had a couple of people go, don't run from him. And I'm like,
Well
what?
done.
Like, we were doing an event and I got to dance with him, but the DJ was like, you're glowing, don't mess it up. And I'm like, seriously, shut up. I'm having a good time. I'm learning me right now. But it was funny to hear that. And it's like, just got told I'm being blocked by a horse or something on a last podcast. But you know what? I'm pushing that horse aside and trying really hard
Yeah.
here. I learned I don't want to run. But if anybody messes it up in my life, because I'm so protective of my heart, my kids, I watch everything. Watch for those red flags. I don't want to ever create a red flag. I want them all green
Yeah.
flags, but I've been
Yeah.
through so much that, the heart wants what the heart wants.
Yeah.
So, and honesty and loyalty. I don't ever want to be cheated on. I don't care if my guy sees a pretty girl and looks, as long as a cute guy by me, I can look and I don't get in freaking trouble for that. We're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. 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 Clear agreements. Clear agreements.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? All right, next one. Have your own events, life inform the death of your career. Death. I said it wrong. I always said that word. There's no death of your career, practice, or spiritual awakening. Now we touched base on that too. So the spiritual awakening, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when it was like destiny kind of tapped at my door, and she was like, this is what you've got to do next. And I've signed up for that training, and then my life really like collapsed on so many levels. But within that training, to become a love, sex, and relationship, all the sexual energy I have like finally knew what it wanted to do, and all the relationship rearrangement that I needed to do in my life happened so easily, and to find self-love in myself. And because all that was left, was me, my
Yeah.
kids, and music. And I was like, Chloe, what are you going to do? I had years of psychotherapy training and ecstatic dancing. I'm a
Yeah.
DJ, and I made something out of myself, which is why I loved your podcast when it was described to me, because I was like, this woman's had some life events. I was
You
like,
think? I'm like, you think?
yeah. And I'm really good on attuning with people, so
Yeah.
there's all the skills from over 20 years came together within this training, because
Yeah.
suddenly it was like everything I needed to know personally, but also everything that I could offer people in this kind of strange taboo world, because I'm a loudmouth, was I don't mind standing up and being a leader in a field. So it just kind of all
Yeah.
niched down.
You got to be a leader in the field. Like, you got to be strong-willed and go out there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
when you're passionate on a topic, go out there and teach it. So,
Mm.
and I learned that more people around me, I love meetup.com. I ran one for event planners, but then I saw there was a need later. I mean, this is like 15 years later, that people around me were leaving relationships, and I've been abused, domestic violence. So I started helping people with that, and I loved it. But I accidentally hit a button when I planned my event that it was going to be online. And that's really how the podcast came about. Well, you're not going to be online. You're not going to do this. I really wanted to tune into you. And then it
Yeah.
was my friend that was coming to an event. She's like, really need to do a podcast. And I'm like, okay, we'll see, because I didn't have the funds to start it up. But you know what? Here I am today helping people, and I plan to do that with the rest of my life. I mean, this is my purpose in life. So, also let's go back to sex.
Yeah. Every time, babes.
I like changed a squirrel. You know, music and sex, they really go
Mm,
together. And why
mm,
do some people like, I'm going to just say this because I don't know if many people are like this, but you know, you start out first time, but you can feel a slower part, but then your brain starts working. Well, I used to do A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Why is it happening slower? Is the wall still up? You know, do do people do that if they've been traumatized, or what is it? Why can't you go back to how you were like when the walls are down? Like, does that make sense?
I
You
think so.
like more active and willing to do things, but like if it's the first, second, third time, you're still kind of shy. Like, does that make sense? I hope it makes sense right now.
Right. Are you saying, let me just clarify the question because I love to
Yeah,
be clear. So, did I hear that, like, when you first sleep with someone, it's different from the second and third time you sleep with them? Or is it like how you had sex in your 20s is different from how you have sex in your 40s?
they're both true. So, but it's just like building up and learning. I think it's like even being at school, you're learning a new subject, you kind of slowly you take it in and then you get better because you were studying it. You know, it's
Mm,
kind of like, and then you mastered it.
mm.
So, you know, do people actually take their time in the beginning to learn and then they're like at the, you know, 6 months, 7 months, a year later, like, get on that bed. You know, they have this energy that's like out of the blue. Like they'll just go after it. They have more confidence. Do you find
Yeah.
your
Yeah,
clients? Okay.
absolutely. Absolutely. Because also just like the simplicity of when your body knows, say that you know how to say yes and no to yourself,
Yeah.
practice consent with yourself. You know, if you're gonna be having a really nice, beautiful moment with yourself in the bath or shower or bedroom, wherever you like to have moments with yourself, and I recommend having them really regularly, just check, particularly if you're a woman, does this body part really want to do this today? Does she
Mm-hmm.
want inside or outside? Does she just want nipple play, or does she like check in with your own body, with you? Because the more you practice consent with yourself, by the time anybody else comes in,
Mm-hmm.
like a year later or a week later, your consent's done, tick box.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And if
So
then you have trouble doing it with a partner consent, there we are. There's another little milestone. And then you practice consent with a partner. Hey, I'm not ready yet. Can we have a bath
gotcha.
first?
Okay.
Seduce me all evening over dinner, then I am all over this. Or I
Yeah.
love a quickie before we go out. There's so many ways to play.
I love it. Your energy is great. Oh my gosh. Okay, I want to go to the next one. Oh, okay. So, what type of advice might you give someone looking to improve their love, sex, and relationships?
Yeah, I think work with relationship with self, but also like let other people love you in order for that relationship with self to be healed as well. It's a good old mix there. There's probably an inner child, a little girl or boy inside of you that needs you to scoop them up and bring them home. And
Yeah.
and once you've got that, you start to be an adult in an adult world in a very playful way. Once you've got that little person inside of you that probably didn't get treated quite right, once you make a relationship with them, honestly, so much falls into place.
Yeah, I notice even like little text messages in the morning. I sleep with my AirPods and then I love it because I hear like at 5 in the morning the guy I like,
Mm.
good morning. I hope you have a good, and it's like the best way
Oh,
to kind of wake up before my dog starts panting in my face and snorting. So
yeah,
it's like the
he
guy,
got there first.
and if I turn a certain way, then the dog acts up. But yeah, so
Yeah, and that guy's got skills. Beautiful.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, he got some skills.
He be flexing those skills.
He got, is that a song? He got,
It's now. He
it
got
is now.
skills.
Yes. There be a new
Look at me smile. He got skills.
Thank you for this great laugh in the morning before I do a trade show. I love it. All right. Can you explain what you mean by bliss is your birthright? That's in your website that you wrote about.
Yeah. So there's a really funny way to answer the question and a really deep way to answer the question. How much time have we got? Because I don't want to make you late for your day.
I know. We're going to go really fast. So I got it. Oh, yeah. I got like, we can do this within 10 minutes if you talk
Yes, babes. I can do it fast. So I've spent a lot of time, like I said, in many different countries doing different things. And one of the experiences that I had was within what's called an enlightenment intensive. And I sat for 7 days not talking to anyone, asking myself the same question again and again and again. And I hit what you're kind of technically meant to hit, but it doesn't happen to many people. This place where I kind of disappeared and the nature of the ecstatic, blissful universe bust through me. And literally, I was laughing my head off. I could not stop laughing. That's how the teachers knew I'd hit the place, because all I was doing was laughing at how pleasurable it was, that the universe was experiencing itself through me and everybody, and that nature itself and the cosmos and stars and planets, like everything just bust through me. So I have a very pure reference point from which to say bliss is our birthright. It's the very nature of who we are. That's my deep and meaningful share. Secondly, like bodies are pleasure palaces and ought to be treated like that. This is my playful response, right? So we all know, well, maybe we ought to know, that the clitoris is full of nerve endings. It's got more nerve endings than anywhere else on the body. And the only reason the clitoris exists is for pleasure. So God darn it, girl. Bliss is your birthright. God darn it. Bliss is your birthright. You own one, right?
Yeah, I think everybody owns one.
So, you know, there's a sense, and I think there's a really strong place for psychotherapy and many healing modalities. They're all appropriate. Yeah. And I've studied a lot of them. But also there's a new wave happening now where we're starting to heal using pleasure. That keep bliss and pleasure and a nice, beautiful life for yourself as your North Star, as your compass set in that direction. You will digest the crunchy bits in between. But really, that's where we want to be heading, from thriving to surviving, to being able to wake up with your lover's voice saying, "Good morning, beautiful," so that you walk into your kitchen and smile at your coffee. Like that level of bliss is your birthright. You know, we deserve happy, healthy lives with people that love us in them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Anything to start off the morning is always great, you know, and having that, it's soothing to the soul, which is nice. So, but yeah, you're right on my path. So definitely, I want to thank you so much for coming and talking to us about all this. It was amazing. And I love your energy. Where can people find you on social media?
Yeah, head to my website, first of all. That's probably your best port of call. So that's www.feralgrace.net. And also, I was going to give people some giveaways. So for people of all genders, there's a chapter where I've got the rights to, because I wrote it, that was published recently in a book. You can have that chapter for free. That's called How to Live Your Feral Self. And there's some nice pleasure practice how-tos at the end. And for women, there's a body love meditation that I can send them as well. So I can send you those links. But so go find me on my website. And also, I love talking to people. I love people. So they can email me. The links are all there, and ask me anything they want. And people are shy, you know, like I'm very funny and very ferocious, but people, like, no one's going to push you into anything. And if you just want to drop me a note and just sort of say, "Hey, what you said moved me."
Yeah,
when I'm ready.
We have a number they can call to and leave you a message, and you can answer any questions. It's 833-780-HOPE. So if you have questions, you know, that you want to, it's all private. So it will go to her and she'll answer them too. So
you're the best.
I
Amazing.
so live on record is the best. It was so, but definitely we have sponsors today that help with the show and everything. So I just want to call them out really quick. So thank you, liveonrecord.com, with your integrative new guest book with the vintage phone. It makes it fun to leave messages for those special couples. And as I always say, no matter what the event is, you can use their services to leave that message. PartyTimeTexas.com, your one place to find all your vendors, DJs, bands, caterers, venues, photographers, videographers, whatever is needed, even a juggler, fire belly dancer, elf.
I saw the website. It's amazing what they offer.
Yes, it is amazing. They have so much.
Everything's there.
I could be your coordinator. I'm kidding. So definitely we have Miles and Smiles, and she's an investigator. Also, she does the handwriting analysis and lip readings, and she's jumping into the event industry very strong. MissDeborahRose.com. Check her out. We also have Bridal Shows Inc., where if you're planning an event, you can go to their trade show and meet different vendors. So she'll have a list of all the different ones and everything. So then we have Mr. Bryce Harney. He's a magician, mentalist too. He's traveling back and forth. He's been on TV, all the stations here, but he is good like at what he does. So check him out. We have one more, I promise. Richmond Punch, the violinist. You can check him out at www.richmondpunch.net, I believe. So, or just Google. I'm learning that way. So, but definitely, you can find us wherever you find your podcast. Come subscribe. I can't talk today. Subscribe on our YouTube. And also, you can find us on keephopealivepodcast.com. If you would like to be a guest speaker or voice an opinion or whatever, please feel free to email us. You can also leave reviews, everything. So remember, with Keep Hope Alive, we're here to help people across the world. It doesn't matter what topic we're talking about. It's love and light. And I mean, everybody wants to hear something different. So doesn't matter if it's a musician to a doctor, a lawyer, if we're talking about different topics like sex today and then going to narcissism. I mean, either way, it's all different stories and it happens across the world. So just here to bring light to these stories and help educate too. But as I was saying, thank you so much for coming on our show. It was so fun having this early morning coffee talk with you. As I said, coffee talk. We love that here. So, but definitely, thank you. And everybody have a great week and we'll see you next time.